Hello there. My name is Bob King, aka Sub Bob, which stands for Submarine Bob. And today I'm here to talk to you about a topic that I'm passionate about, and it means a lot to me, and that is find their gift. You know, we have a doctor here of neuroscience, a professor of neuroscience from the University of California, San Francisco. The notion that 75% of autistic people are mentally retarded is incredibly wrong and destructive. And I don't use that R word lightly. I don't usually use it myself at all. This is a direct quote from this professor and the Wired magazine article. And here's an example of some people who many people believe are either on the autism spectrum or would have been if autism was recognized back, when Mozart was around and Einstein. And they all have something in common: highly creative, given a lot back, and many of them have changed the world in a better way. This story is about Amanda Baggs. Now, a disclosure: when I first gave this speech at the Johnson County Community College in Kansas City in the spring of 2015, I took this story at face value. Since then, someone told me that Amanda's story may have been faked. Well, if so, she faked out. She fooled Wired magazine. She fooled several other mainstream media outlets, Washington Post, New York Times, and others. And even if this story is based on a fabrication, the underlying premise is there are people like Amanda out there whose stories are true and who communicate in ways that are not the way that most people communicate, right? They're nonverbal. In this video, which I'm not going to play on here, it's not going to come across on the stream, in her language, Amanda shows how she communicates with water, how she makes noises, how she hums, and people don't understand her. Yet she uses tools to close caption it, and she uses a speech recognition or a speech generation system to communicate. The rest of the story is that this person is in Second Life, and there are many people with developmental disabilities or that are on the autism spectrum in Second Life and other, that's a simulation, but other games like World of Warcraft and similar ones, who find an outlet there, who find a way to communicate with each other and with people that are not on the same spectrum as them. And look at all these tools. There are so many people who are not developmentally disabled that would have no idea where to start with speech recognition software or some of these video editing tools, and types 120 words per minute. And as she quotes, my care provider wouldn't even know how to use these various applications. Also, autism has, people talk about autism being on the rise and that it's new, but look at this report. Does that font look like it's new? That report is very old. Autistic disturbances of affective content. And the author writes, since 1938, came to our attention a number of children whose cases are markedly and uniquely different. Each case merits detailed consideration of its fascinating peculiarities. Markedly and uniquely different in detailed consideration. Everyone is unique and an individual, and we're so quick to lump people into categories, to throw labels on them, and to focus on what they can't do, when instead we should be studying them as individuals and finding their gifts, finding their talents. For example, take Stephen Wiltshire. Stephen Wiltshire, as a very young child, they focused on what he couldn't do. He was nonverbal. He liked to draw. They would take away his writing instruments. If history had taken a different turn, we may never have known about Stephen's amazing talent, because he is, they call him the human camera. Stephen flew over Rome on a 20-minute helicopter ride, and then over the next 3 days, drew it from memory to such a degree that when they took the Colosseum and overlaid it on his drawing, it was historic. I mean, it was accurate to scale, to every column, to every window. It was a blueprint. Yet again, he could have been locked up and we'd never known about him. So we can focus on people's lack of what they can't do, or instead we can find their hidden talents, find out what they can do and share with the world. Another example, Stephen Wiltshire has now gone around the world, actually. He's been to Chicago, New York City, Singapore. Here's an example where he's at a Singapore mall, and over the course of days drew the Singapore skyline. And then he now communicates with people much better than he did when he first started. But how many Stephen Wiltshires are there locked away whose talents we'll never find? So I urge you to take action. Visit findtheirgift.org. That's a website that I've set up. It's not yet fully executed, but it is there. And my goal is that every special education teacher, every regular education, every teacher, parents, family members, society should know the story of Stephen Wiltshire. And when they find someone that is different, that is developmentally delayed or on the autism spectrum, does things that are a little bit different from the norm, rather than focus on their difference or focus on what they can't do, let's find their gift. Let's find out where they can do things better, sometimes many, many, many times better than the average person. I urge you also to learn the story of Temple Grandin. She has a TED Talk, The World Needs All Kinds of Minds, and her movie, Temple Grandin. And as the interviewer here says, she once said that if by magic autism had been eradicated from the face of the earth, we would still be socializing in front of a wood fire at the entrance to the cave. Because the people that made the first stone spears, that Asperger guy. And if we eliminated autism, we'd have no more Silicon Valley, and we wouldn't be solving the world's problems. Again, here's the links. You can find this not PowerPoint, but you can find this Google presentation at bit.ly/findtheirgiftspeech. There are some references. Again, I show the link for their Find Their Gift website and some more links to their references. Again, let's back up. What am I asking? I'm asking that each time we look at a person, we treat them as an individual. We do not label them and put them into a category and stereotype them as to what they can't do. But let's find out what their special gift is. Let's find out how they can tell amazing stories, or how they can provide blessed experiences to all of us. Let's find their gift. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.